I was itching to take the 27mm out for a spin, so even though we were under a tropical storm warning, I decided to do a quick photo walk at Magic Island. Honestly, I was a bit nervous taking out the X-E5 because it's not weather sealed. And if you watch my unboxing video, you know I already killed one Fuji at the beach. Regardless, I decided I would take one quick lap around before the rain came and head home with whatever pictures I managed to take. I programmed in Reggie's Portra in slot FS1 and hope for the best. Let's talk about this first photo. I was completely expecting vignetting, but not this bad. Also, I found it odd that it's more prominent on the left side of the frame. If you watched the unboxing video, I commented that the packaging was already open when I received the lens. So when I saw this picture, my first thought was that the lens must be defective. The heavy vignetting on the left side of the frame versus the right side is a common occurrence across almost all the pics that follow. Other than that, I found the colors and detail in the pictures were both quite good. Can we just take a moment here to appreciate the video coming from the GoPro Hero 11 Black? I'm just using the default cinematic setting straight from the factory. At this point, I noticed the waves were breaking over the lagoon wall. I dialed up the shutter speed to capture these photos. The bad weather brought with it a South Shore swell, and once again, let's take a moment to appreciate the video coming from the GoPro Hero 11 Black. I was wondering whether or not the X-E5 had potential to be a sports camera. I used the electronic zoom to zoom in as far as it could, and I once again cranked up the shutter speed, and I got these two series of shots. Let me know in the comments what you think. Alright. Honestly, after this photo walk, I was thinking about returning this lens. I thought the color rendition was fine, the detail was fine. I'd even focused fast enough to keep up with those surfers as you saw, but I just didn't know whether or not I wanted to deal with that level of vignetting. But as fate would have it, we had an event the following weekend, and I just decided to give the lens another try. This time, however, I was going to forego the UV filter to see if it would help a little with that vignetting. This is the first picture I took that morning. This is quite possibly the ugliest picture I've ever taken in my life. And I started taking pictures back in the film days with like manual focus lenses. So this pic did nothing to sway my mind as far as returning the lens. However, I followed up that picture with this one. You can see that I moved that light off to the right and then I changed to a vertical orientation. And I really like this pic. You can see now that the light is rendered almost like a starburst, and it's giving enough side lighting that it adds a really three-dimensional aspect to this particular photo. I don't know if this will come across in YouTube, but looking at the original, the mountains in the background and the cloud and the color addition, that almost looks like a fake backdrop. The only downside, of course, as you can see, is that even without the UV filter, there is a good bit of vignetting in that top left corner. We're here so early in the morning that the sun is moving very quickly, and so the colors and the clouds and the sky are just changing rapidly. Now, I consider myself primarily a landscape or seascape shooter, so these series of pictures here convinced me to keep the lens. Okay, so let's wrap up this review of the TT Artisan mm f2.8. Let's start with the pros. First off, the lens is very affordable. Even with the US tariffs going on, I bought mine for $160, which I think is a reasonable price for this lens. Also, the lens is very lightweight. If you watch the unboxing video, I actually thought that the lens was made 100% out of plastic, but it turns out that it has a full metal build. The lens also has a fast 2.8 aperture and also is very fast focusing. I'm not a pixel peeper, so I found that the photos that I took had a reasonable degree of sharpness. Finally, what really sold me on the lens was the color rendition. I really love the way the colors are rendered, particularly using the Velvia film simulation. There are actually only a few cons that I experienced while using this lens. The first one, of course, is that wicked vignetting. If you're not into that much vignetting or have no desire to fix it in post, I would say that that could be a considerable drawback for you if you're thinking about purchasing this lens. Also, as you saw in the two pictures that I shared, the lens can create some very dramatic flaring, although I guess if you're a J.J. Abrams disciple, that may be a bonus for you. And finally, the lens is not weather sealed. Now, I don't think that's a very big deal if you're going to put it on the Fuji X-E5, because that camera is not weather sealed, but if you were going to use it with a weather sealed body, that could be a con for you. Well, that concludes our review of the TT Artisan 27mm f2.8 lens. If you made it this far into the video, mahalo, thank you, I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, please put them below in the comment section. I'll be happy to reply. Please consider dropping a like if you enjoyed this lens review, and please subscribe for future content. Mahalo.